Hi, you are listening or watching the Holistic Travel Nurse. I just want to thank you guys for your time of watching or listening to this. I have the Sleep Ninja again, Brenda, on, and she's going to share with us stories on healing digestive issues. And since I talked about the liver, she has incredible stories about the liver. If you've not heard those episodes, you can go back and I can put them in the show notes, the links to those episodes where I share about how the importance of taking care of your liver is. Before we recorded this, we were just talking about things and how we have made ourselves feel better by the ways of supplementations and lifestyle choices. And in this day and age, with all the quarantine, all the things that are going on right now, it is like so important to be keeping your immune system strong. It's so important to having great self-care regimens. And if you do me a favor, give this a thumbs up or a like or a review on iTunes. More people will watch it or see it. Or if you've seen this on YouTube, please subscribe and share it on your social media if this has helped you. Brenda, I just want to thank you again for being on and being truthful about your healing journeys and you and your life. I know that you've been stuck inside for a bit, so
it's always a pleasure to work with you and to join you and to have your teammates and audience, available to listen. So really appreciate you.
Yeah, she's up in Wisconsin, which is opening up. So as we're recording this, it's in May 2020. It's a very strange time where our government worldwide, it wasn't just like us in the US. We think it was, but it's definitely worldwide. Everyone went quarantine. Little craziness.
Yep.
So to get back out of craziness, let's get back on with how to change your life. Tell me about your, is it yours or your husband's digestive issues?
These were mine. So when I look back, in hindsight, my acute episodes started in 2014, but I can actually look 10 years beyond that and see how it was starting, those little hiccups and upsets that, oh, this isn't normal. I wonder why that's happening. But it's never routine enough or often enough that it becomes something that you're really concerned about. You know what I'm saying? It just,
You just
but
go,
2000.
I have stomach ache, or I have diarrhea today, or I have massive whatever going on in my stomach today. Oh, I can't eat this. I can't eat that. I'm just going to pop a pill.
Exactly. So in 2014, I had been retired for about a year, and my digestive issues were getting worse. To the point that I was having diarrhea 3 to 4 times a day, 4 to 5 days a week. That's not normal. So I had eliminated foods that I figured were triggers. But it seemed like every time I would eliminate one, something else would turn into a trigger. Cultured fat, like in dairy, sour creams, cream cheeses, those seem to be the worst. Whole milk was fine. Coffee I couldn't touch. I mean, there was just all kinds of, some of it made sense and some of it didn't. So we were on a trip to New Orleans, and with some digestive syndromes like mine, you have absolutely no forewarning that you're going to have an episode, okay? So you can stand here, and all of a sudden your bowels basically let go and you have filled your pants, and it's, as an adult, this is not how we want to live our lives. So we live about 3 miles from our little country grocery store. And at home, I couldn't go to the grocery store without a change of clothes in my purse. It was that unpredictable and that debilitating. Travel was almost out of the question. I needed to know where every gas station was, and you think you're fine coming up on it, and it's about a mile down the road, you're wishing you had stopped. It was crazy. So anyway, we had gone to New Orleans. I had a horrible experience down there, and I loved the food. So it was almost like being caught in hell, truly. Came home and knew that I could not treat this on my own anymore. So I made an appointment with a gastroenterologist and took all the data with me that I had been keeping on what was working and what wasn't working, and what foods were triggering and things like this, and said, I think I have a bowel syndrome or digestive syndrome. And he says, yes, you do. You've got it. You've done very well. So here's a diet to follow, the moped diet or the MOB diet, which is horrible. And here's a pill to take when you have an episode. And it'll help with the gas and the bloating and the pain. I said, no, you don't understand. I need a pill that's going to prevent the episode. He says, my dear, there is no pill for that. And you're going to have to live with this the rest of your life.
Huh.
I went out to my car and I literally sat there for probably 10 or 15 minutes and just sobbed, because the thought of this being my life for the rest of my life was unacceptable. If you know me, I'm very active. I'm very vibrant. I'm going. No, this was not an option. So I tried the pills he gave me. They were honestly worse than what I was experiencing with side effects from the syndrome itself. Mm-hmm. So with the syndrome, after you've had an episode, you have bloating, cramping, horrible gas. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I would not wish it, on anyone, truthfully. So I started researching. I'm a big researcher, and I knew the essential oils had helped tremendously with sleep, and hopefully there would be something that would help with a digestive syndrome. Mm-hmm. So after about 3 weeks of everything I could get my hands on, it all came down to the same common denominator. That in almost every syndrome, digestive syndrome, it's acute inflammation. And it doesn't matter which syndrome you're dealing with, mm-hmm. but if the whole root of it is inflammation. Mm. I thought, okay, inflammation, that's something I can deal with. How do we deal with that? Well, my background is in medicine, and I knew that when you create a protocol, you either have to prove it right, wrong, or otherwise. So I went, and the best anti-inflammatory that I had in my possession was frankincense and peppermint. Frankincense is going to take down that inflammation. It's going to heal. When in doubt, call Frank. Mm-hmm. Peppermint, cooling, calming, healing. The two together made sense to me. So in a veggie cap, I put 3 drops of frankincense and 4 drops of peppermint. And I would take one of those capsules every morning for 4 days. Mm-hmm. I did not have a single episode during those 4 days. And it was a full week before I had another episode. Mm. Now, when I had the episode, it was so minor in comparison to what I had been experiencing. I thought, okay, this is just a fluke. Whatever, this is just a fluke. But I repeated the protocol. 3 drops of Frank, 4 drops of peppermint in a veggie cap once every morning for 4 days. My next episode was 2 weeks later. And again, so minor in comparison to what I'd been experiencing. I thought, okay, I'm onto something here. So I just kept repeating that protocol until 2 weeks turned into 2 months, turned into 6 months. And that was 2015. And here we are in 2020. And I don't have to, if I have an issue, I repeat my protocol. But I haven't had to do anything for months now. Months.
I got to ask a question, though, because I am sitting right next to me with somebody who, and we got to realize that I love that you found what works for you, and you have to play around, because I've had my own digestive issues. I have food sensitivities for sure, gluten intolerant being one of them. And so if I get a little gluten, sometimes I can handle a little, especially if you do Terra enzymes?
I have. I have done those. I've done, we do PB assist every night. We do, I've done, is it gas or GX? I can't think what that one is.
Yes, it is.
I've done, one of the things I love about doTERRA is that their digestive cleanse protocol is so gentle. It's not like you have to wall yourself up for a week and not do anything. It's a natural process and it works so well. But I haven't had to do that because I was able to get rid of the inflammation. I was able to calm it and cool it. So my body healed itself. When it's, the whole premise of oil is when your body is properly supported, it will heal itself from whatever is going on. And that's what we did. I've worked with probably 24 clients now that have different digestive syndromes. We've used the same protocol on them. Some we've added Digest Zen to because they need a little more help. And now the doTERRA has the wonderful peppermint beadlet soft gels that you carry, but whether it's been, anything on any end of the spectrum, 85 to 90% success rate in helping clients get some relief.
That's pretty cool. Now, everyone's a little different. Like I was talking to a friend and I'm really bummed that right about now the turmeric capsules, which is curcumin and fumaroles together, is been out of stock because those have been a game changer for me. Okay. But I know other friends of mine that can't take them. So I think when you start with such a pure product that doTERRA has, that's why we scream we love them and their products, their supplements, their oils, because we have had success and we love to work with people one-on-one and figure out what my success might not be the same success you're going to have in your same issue.
Correct.
And that our bodies are all so different. We just promise to work with one of us. If you work with one or another doTERRA person, that they will be guaranteed to help with you with your issue if you work with them. Sometimes it is some other lifestyle issues that you need to bring in balance so the oils will even work better. Such as the standard American diet is doing you harm. Right. So that is super cool. And I've never heard of the frankincense and peppermint protocol before. So that's pretty cool. Now you still ever about a liver though. That's
my husband's story. So my husband, he's 72 now, and he's robust health, very active, very hardworking guy. And about 5 years ago, his labs went from being like pristine 21-year-old labs to his liver enzymes slightly elevated. And the doctor didn't really think anything about it. She says, well, we'll check him again in 6 months and see. So they kept checking them and they kept doubling, at 200, 400, to the point that they went up to over 900. And they're like, we have to figure this out. Otherwise, you're going on the liver transplant list. We have no idea why this is happening. You're not ill. He's not turning yellow. But he does have some extra weight that he's carrying. So they did a biopsy, and the biopsy revealed that there was no sclerosis or scarring, which was wonderful, which, his liver would heal then because it wasn't scarred. But we needed to get those numbers down. So we're talking to the doctor, okay, what do we do? He goes, he says there isn't a cure for, they called it fatty liver disease. That was their diagnosis. He says there's no cure for that. He says the best you can do again is, you need to lose a little bit of weight. And if you want to take some vitamin E, that's helps some people, but there's no guarantee that that's going to do anything. And all the way home, I just kept telling her, I cannot believe in this day and age that there isn't something. So again, back to research. there's got to be an oil that supports digestive system. I don't mind using the vitamin E. Vitamin E is a wonderful supplement.
Mhm.
But what else can we do? So one of the not so well-known facts about copaiba is that it's a wonderful digestive support.
Mm.
So we made a roller ball of copaiba, 25 drops of copaiba with fractionated coconut oil, and he would roll that over his liver morning and night. Now, I'll tell you that being the guy that he is, he was probably 75% accurate on placement and probably 75% accurate or compliant in doing it. You know, none of us are perfect. So we go in for the 6-month checkup. He did do the vitamin E as well, but honestly, that was the only changes we made. He did lose about 10 pounds, but he needs to lose 100, so it wasn't like he had a dramatic weight loss that would have triggered all of this. So we went in for his lab works, and this is 6 months later, and the lab numbers, his enzymes have gone from being over 900 to normal.
Hmm.
They haven't just come down slightly, they have dropped all the way down to normal.
Hmm.
And his physician was astounded. He's like, well, I don't know what you're doing, but keep up the good work. He says, we'll test you again in 6 months. So this has been 3 years ago now. He's had tests every 6 months. They're still normal. We haven't needed to do any kind of follow-up, redosing. And with him, once he said, I'm, cured, we don't use that word, but he wasn't going to do it anymore. So, but I know that if his numbers do climb again, copaiba is going to be a tremendous support to his system to get things back in line without any maintenance dosing needed.
Yeah. One thing that drives me nuts is like fatty liver is something people walk around with, and a lot of it is from over carbohydrates too. So if
Mm-hmm.
you have him decreasing his carbohydrate content and processed carbohydrate, that's going to help the burden down of the liver. The other thing is that we forget that our livers, like I've talked about this, that our livers are responsible for so much, and all these toxins that people bring in. It was funny because
Yes.
we're talking, and there were other people that I was cleaning my bathroom this morning and thinking about all the other people that clean their bathroom with harsh chemicals. All those harsh chemicals, guess what your liver has to do with those?
Your liver is the garbage disposal for your body. Everything that you put in your mouth goes through your liver. So whether it's a chemical, whether it's a toxin, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, drink, whatever it is, your body, your liver has to filter all of that and handle all of that before it can go through your body. So that first, that it can rejuvenate itself is miraculous, but that there isn't more happening in livers. It's just, I read somewhere that it's one of the growing diseases in baby boomers because they've done such a hard life. It's been such a high carb diet and alcohol and things like that.
Medications, alcohol, all of that, plus whatever household chemicals that you are using that are going to burden your liver. And now
And
the other chemical, are you doing any Zendocrine though? Because Zendocrine complex, which is an herb, that seems very supportive for the liver. And then the Zendocrine oil mixed with the copaiba roll on the roller on the liver. The liver is on your left upper quadrant, would seem to be beneficial too. I had it's funny because my husband we had a doctor that we saw that has been using doTERRA longer than us when we started our oils, and she wanted him to use Zendocrine on his liver daily, on the outside of his liver.
mhm. we
Um,
we had not used the Zendocrine. We just grabbed the copaiba.
well, it's something to play around with that particular oil. I mean, it's every person. If his numbers are fine, but it's
Mhm.
something to think of, and because that's a blend made just for detoxing and
Mm.
aiding with our liver and kidneys detoxing. So the complex or the supplement itself are super great when aiding those organs that we forget all the time that are so powerful for us.
Mhm.
And my first time ever messing with Zendocrine, the oil complex, I thought I almost peed my pants. So if you ever take it orally, shoot, don't get in the car and drive, because I thought, Lord have mercy, I had to find a place to pee, or I'm doing it on the side of the road. Me and my girlfriend, we were like, oh, we're like doing this cleanse thing together, and we were going to do more endocrine stuff and really work on our kidneys and liver together. And she's like, I just about peed my pants. I'm like, I just about peed my pants too. So don't do it at night, maybe, and then don't do it like have it with your coffee, and then think that you're going to run, because I mean caffeine's a natural diuretic too. But that's pretty cool I think that it's one of your favorite oils right now is copaiba.
You know, I'm always a skeptic when they bring a new oil out, because we have such a plethora of fantastic oils if you'll use them. You know,
Yep.
if you'll research them and learn their primary uses and their secondary uses and the ones that play well together, we really have a very vast natural pharmacy available to us. But copaiba has been a game changer for so many people in so many ways. I carry it in my first aid bag in my purse. I've been around people that have had panic attacks and emotional issues, and 2 or 3 drops under their tongue, literally in 10 seconds, will take them from an escalating episode to normal breathing, and calmness.
Yeah, I would love that. Matter of fact, I have a story. Recently, I had a patient. That sometimes what I'm doing with patients and they don't know, but this patient would have taken forever to get the medication she needed, and she was starting to have some anxious feelings, and very not. And so, what as a holistic nurse I could do, I had what was in my pocket, and I thought, gosh, I don't know why I had jasmine in my pocket, but I had jasmine. And jasmine is a nice floral scent in it, but aromatherapy hand massage
Mm-hmm.
is a blessing to do to other people. And I was able to do that to her, and she goes, what did you just do? I don't have any of those anxious feelings anymore. She just thinks that it was just me just giving her a nice little gentle massage. Well, it was an aromatherapy massage that was beneficial for her. So if someone is dealing with, you have a family member or yourself, I mean, those are something that you can there's different avenues, and you got to realize that, like what you said, might work for that person, it might not work for this other person, or what I just did with a floral scent might not have helped her, but it might help somebody. We all a little different. So it's about finding what's best in use to aid with your body in that situation. And,
It it always surprises me when people are a little hesitant, because if you go to a physician or a practitioner and they give you a medication, the first thing they're going to tell you is give it 90 days, and then let's talk and see how it's doing.
yep.
90 days is a long time when it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
It's an expensive time when it's not working, because now you're going to start again in 90 days with something new.
Mm-hmm.
But with oil, we're going to know within, I would think, 10 days.
Yep.
This is working for you, and there's not going to be side effects. There's not going to be secondary conditions that we have to worry about or find solutions for. And if it's not working, we can customize this for you. It's not cookie cutter medicine. It's
No.
customized.
Yeah, I agree. And I love the fact that oils are complementary and work synergistically with
Yes.
pharmaceuticals that we need to be on in some sense, and not saying anti-pharmaceuticals, but some pharmaceuticals, they're complementary too. They work well with it, and so they're so safe that I'm using them on my animals consistently. That they know the smells of those oils, and my little dog's right next to me, all sleeping just consistently. If I just have I've had the sense this, and I wanted to have the mood this morning of energy, of up liveliness. So I'm watching church at home and cleaning my bathroom with citrus oils, and I'm like, wow, this is such an amazing event and so uplifting my mood with things I'm taking into my mindset with church, and then also with these amazing aromatherapy. Plus, they're cleaning my bathroom, for goodness sake.
For a
And
fraction of the cost of cleaner, and it's not making you sick in doing it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. It's just, and so I get to kind of play around with like what's in my diffuser or what's in my spray bottle that I'm going to spray my counter with, and what scents that I know are going to be either uplifting and
Mhm.
bringing that mood up, or I want a calming down evening, let's get my body to rest and calm down type of thing. You and I were talking about earlier before the podcast, you're not a fan of the reflexology and the oils on the bottom of the feet so much on the big toe like I have. You like them, and it's everyone totally different. I mean, I still use them too. I like them behind the ears,
Mhm.
wrist points, on the chest,
Mhm.
and on the spine.
Mhm.
So we have all these, and we're all very, very unique in what works
Correct.
with
And
you.
none of it is right or wrong. And I think that's really important for people to understand. I am not a member of the big toe tribe. You could put anything you want to behind my big toe and it's not going to do anything. It doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. I have friends that like half a drop of lavender behind their big toe, and 15 minutes they're out like a light. I wish I was a member, but I'm not.
I
But
I almost might name this, but this podcast title, I'm not. What did you say? Say that again.
oh, I'm not a member.
Not a member of the
Big toe tribe.
Big
Yeah.
Toe Tribe. That is so awesome. It's just, that's just like that. If you guys walk away with anything, that is hilarious. We're all not members of like, okay, well, this works, like it worked for me. You have to do it this way.
Mhm.
No, everyone's different chemistry wise, and so forth. Somebody can eat something in food. This is same situation. You can eat a food that I wish I could eat.
Mhm.
You don't struggle with dairy. This person's like, I can't have dairy. I'm so allergic. I
Mhm.
am going to be in the bathroom all the time with dairy. So we're all very, very unique.
Yes.
And it's about being mindful of your own body, and then making the steps and rituals every day to do something nourishing and balancing to your body and your mind.
Yes. And I got to tell you, when you take that first issue and you conquer it using oil, it will so empower you to start using them everywhere else. During this whole virus thing, my counters, all my cleanup, none of my routine has changed because this is what we were doing before. I'm using On Guard on my countertops. I use lemon oil and water on my countertops. I clean my house with oils. I'm not concerned about virus buildup or, things like that.
Clorox wipes. Maybe the only favorite people were concerned of is why the hell is there a toilet paper shortage?
Yeah,
It was
no.
probably people's and that are using oils. They were. I don't think anybody was stressed. We knew
Yeah.
what oils we can use for our bodies, for our emotions.
Mhm.
We know what oils to boost, and we knew. And we're wellness advocates, and we are health coaches, that we knew exactly what we should be doing with our nutrition to support our bodies.
Yes.
And so there's no buddy. A matter of fact, and like you said, the copaiba, that's what I'm about to ask my friend Jessica. She was walking around with other nurses that were anxious in the hospital because, God, geez, the hospital was like a war zone, and it's
Oh,
been like a war
absolutely.
zone.
Absolutely.
And so she was putting oils on people, passing out adaptive supplements, copaiba supplements, and helping those people chill for a minute, because that's weakens your immune system with all that amount of stress.
Mhm.
Um, so, but you have to do your due diligence with your body. And if you don't have oil,
Mhm.
you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to either one of us. All of it will be in the show notes. Brenda is a sleep ninja. It's her expertise in loving. And I will invite you, Brenda, to your team or anybody else. We could work together, and I'm going to be teaching on anxiety and stress and sleep and doing Zoom calls, because I really think that people still have a lot of anxious feelings. I feel like everybody, if they're watching anything on that media or watching some of the social media, there's just this rivalry or
Yeah.
intense emotions, and they are trying to push us to fear, which I'm over it.
Mhm.
Um,
I agree.
and uh,
I
I,
think you can be concerned about the virus and still be concerned about your own personal rights and your own personal concerns and family members. I mean, it's not like it's black or white. This is a hugely complicated issue.
It is. It's a little discombobulating, and it's bringing a lot of sparked emotions on to everyone. We're all going through it. To mothers at home with children at home that they're trying to school, and they're like, "I'm not a teacher." Fire.
Work on top of that.
Yes. Yes. I was talking to a nurse, and I go, "How's the homeschooling?" I just looked at her and I'm like, "Oh, I should make her a roller ball next time I see her." And, how's the homeschooling going? She's like, "Nurse, work life is fine. Home life, and it is so hard if they've never homeschooled before." And especially if you have a child that is got some disadvantages or makes it even harder. So, hands down to the moms and dads right now that are, dealing with that. And then on top of that, the people that have lost an income. The cool thing about doTERRA and the possibilities of not just all the products, but as the business side, is that it has not dropped at all. My volume in my business has not dropped. It is actually, last month when everything else was crashing, it was skyrocketing.
Yes.
So if you want, I always tell people, I thought I was having another podcast and I'm going off. This one is kind of long, but you should have more than one stream of income. And if you've not seen the class, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where you make income and be in that quadrant, do you know what I'm talking about, Brenda? Where you're either in 4 different quadrants when it comes to income and what different quadrant of how you make income. Say you're linear and you change an hour for $1. So my nursing is I get paid hourly per this, and that's most people's jobs. Even if they're doing salary, they're doing work for this time. So it's how you to being a passive income where you just have money coming in. If you own a real estate and you made rental income from that, that's passive income. doTERRA, you grow enough customers underneath you, that is passive income. If you're owning dividends from stocks, that's another passive income. Of course, those all the property management now, the real estate market, all those things with all what's going on in the world have all gone down. Yet doTERRA as a company and their products have actually gone up. That my parents are complaining, why can't I only buy one On Guard? That they've had a limit on certain products because they've increased.
Yeah.
So it's a place to really consider. And the only thing that stands you in the way from growing is this, your own self, your own mindset.
Well, and I think too, people sometimes are resistant to doing a wholesale account because they think, oh, I can't spend more money. But this is money you're already spending. You're spending it at Walmart on cleaning chemicals, or at Rite Aid for supplements or toothpaste or whatever it is. You're just buying them now from a different company that's going to offer you a pure product with no toxins, no bad stuff for you, completely natural. And when you've shopped with them long enough, they're going to rebate you 30% of your own money.
Yep.
When was the last time you were in Walmart and they gave you 30% back on your order? That's never happened to me.
I know. It's if I didn't do the business part of it, I would still be sharing the product regardless, because they work.
They do.
I'd be educated on it regardless because they impact people's lives. This is why they went to being and hitting $1 billion in revenue with a short period, because they work, because they change people's lives, they empower people. And this is what my channel and this is what it's all about, is we want to empower you. You can make a difference. You can own your own health. It does take time when it comes to dealing with a digestive issue, a liver issue, and it takes time and consistency with your lifestyle choices, and you're going to see change. So Brenda, Sleep Ninja, you are awesome for being on and just sharing these stories and testimonials, or giving me protocols now that I didn't know about that I could pass along to other people. You don't know who you'll be helping, because you're listening or watching this, that you need to pass this along to somebody else who really needs this. If you know somebody who struggled with digestive issues, they need to listen to this.
Well, and interesting enough, there are 15.3 million people that suffer with some kind of digestive disorder. 74% of all Americans have some kind of digestive disorder. 75%. Isn't that crazy?
That is so crazy. I was just thinking, well, I wanted to title this one, Not Your Big Toe, but I mean, not everybody would get that. So this title of this podcast might be, are you one of the 74% with digestive issues?
Yes.
You need to listen to this.
Yeah.
I just made a note of that. So, I mean, that's a huge percent. And so this is why, go ahead and share this on your social media. Tag me in that you did so. If you've never had any of the products, you tag me or Brenda, and that I'm sure that we will reach out to you and give you something in the mail if you put this on your social media. So I want to thank you, listeners and people, for being a part of this. Brenda, thanks for your time. And
it's always a pleasure to join you, Naomi.
Last time when we did this is at a restaurant, and it was like nice and not this crazy crap. But it's encouraging to have you on, Brenda, and to give us ideas to aid our digestive health and our livers, because I've talked about this a lot. It's you have to control your own health. You have to be empowered that you have it in your hands. Not saying your doctor doesn't, but he's limited to what he knows. It's your job to figure out your self-care and really impact your health with your self-care regimens.
We have to be our own advocates. We don't have a choice.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And if your doctor is not working with you, time to fire them and get somebody else.
Yes.
So,
Time to find a new doctor.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening. I'm going to end this.